Sagittarius, we are here on to part 3. The phone cut there again. So if you want to access the second and the first part, you can do so by clicking the playlist link on the channel Alchemy and You. All right, now let's get back into it. Sagittarius, we're saying, I'm seeing it as almost like parts to your process, your creative process. And for a number of you, I'm seeing that, step 1 is like you with your work and creating what it is that you do, right? And that be that an intimate process, a very personal process. This could also be, even in terms of, let's say, how you connect your work with others in however way, right? And it can be emotional depending on what Sagittarius speaks to in your personal chart. If you got Venus in Sagittarius, for example, then, or even Sagittarius cusping your 7th house, there could be a focus on partnerships, love, even finances, and what you actually create, right? Creatively. So let's backtrack. The feeling is, Sag, that that first step where it's you with you creating what it is that you are, right? That I'm hearing that is your safety net. I'm not sure what that's alluding to, but I'm hearing that's the first step and stage of how you stimulate, okay? I'm hearing your jurisdiction. I'm not sure what that's alluding to, but I'm hearing specifically of what you create, like what you feel you are in charge of. I'm hearing begins as the nucleus of the vision on a very personal level, you with you. And then it's like I'm seeing whatever that space is of you creating whatever it is that you are, then begins to get kind of like poked at, okay? And I'm seeing it in terms of like when perhaps you begin to imagine how, okay, the how around what you do, I'm hearing develops through time. I'm hearing in a physical way. I'm hearing also publicly with others begins to polarize your perception or your own feeling space of passion with your work. And so it's kind of like Sagittarius, like how I'm hearing for a number of you, like how is it that you feel still connected to your work even when you carry it out in a public way, in a physical way, right? In a way that is to be shared with another. And so if you are, let's say, even a creative developer in some kind of way, let's say that you work with also a team, it's like, how do I feel that what I, carry out remains as that, right? That I carry out remains as that. Like really think about that, Sagittarius. How is it that what I carry out remains as that, regardless of how it is that reality and truth creatively connects with others? I'm hearing also is to be characterized. And it's like, if I've been sitting here wondering how the boat floats along the river and meets and greets a number of people along the way, I'm hearing I'm never going to get. I'm hearing my point across. I'm hearing I'm never going to get to the final destination. And to say it in the way, Sag, that, you have, for those of you who do have a large audience, I'm hearing you have an audience for a reason, right? I'm hearing an audience naturally is going to involve just that, right? A number of different, people from different places with different philosophies. And if we are to kind of engage with each one separately, how is it that we're going to remain, I'm hearing, in engagement with ourselves as a creator of what we create, first and foremost, right? In a way, Sagittarius, to say it like this, to say it in this way, that you are your audience, right? At the end of the day, I'm hearing there's no purple, blue, black, or white. I'm hearing it's just perfect the way it is because it was, I'm hearing, made with passion for what it is, not why it is what it is, depending on who it's made for, right? Depending on who it's presented to. And so if you've been kind of like getting really involved in that space of practicing your work, there's perhaps this spectrum of, well, how does it measure up? How does it add up in relation to these other aspects of how my work is also valued? I'm not sure what that's alluding to, but it's like, if there's comparison, how is it that what I carry out today is compared to what I carried out tomorrow? Wow, interesting. How is it that what I've carried out today is related to what I've carried out tomorrow? Interesting. So it's kind of like you might be thinking about what your work holds meaning as, and be that financially or otherwise. I'm hearing specifically that there's not a focus necessarily on finances, but always take it as you will. I'm hearing 2014. Okay. But Sagittarius, anyways. So it's like this, and the feeling is, well, at the end of the day, again, it's like, what is the meaning for me? Is it how I challenge the meaning that my work holds for others? It's like, what is the, I'm hearing the changes that are made. It's like, no, I'm hearing it's not a matter, and I'm not getting that you're necessarily thinking in that way, but I'm hearing what is the meaning that holds for me, okay? Is what I hold onto as I create what it is that I do. And that can leave an impression in so many ways on so many different types of people, right? It's like that can eventually be also stared at as something that is to be challenged. And for those of you who are actually developing, I'm hearing something very controversial, like a product that's very controversial or a platform that kind of tweaks, I'm hearing the rules a little bit. I don't know what that's alluding to. Whatever it may be, Sagittarius, it's like at the end of the day, I'm hearing it's my time that I put into my project. And when I realize that I am the one who also evolves through it. And if I'm evolving in such a way that accommodates my action, I'm hearing of authenticity, I'm hearing to my vision, I'm hearing that's when I understand and I know that whatever it is that I create is meant to be. I'm hearing is my future. I'm hearing feels right for me. And so, again, so many people can eventually intervene in that space and can eventually kind of also act out in it. But at the end of the day, yet again, Sagittarius, I'm hearing it's not about I'm hearing the distance that everyone runs together at the same speed, okay? It's like, how do I just shine the light to open, I'm hearing also the eyes of others, I'm hearing to herald the attention around the space that I so actively believe in, that is the starting point for me, right? And I'm seeing that for a number of you, this is a matter of actual inspiration. Like you are perhaps sharing also things with the world, things with your audience that you wouldn't have, I'm hearing, otherwise found the context to had you really taken an approach that was logical. I'm not sure again what that's alluding to, but it's like, how did I reach this point? How do I reach this point? And that being, more a question of how I continue it, right? So for a number of you, it's a matter of how you remain authentic in that space, how it is that what you create doesn't kind of, I'm hearing deface and value what you have created in the past, okay, and what you create in the future. So, how do I find that my work still lives on, even if the way I live, I'm hearing the way I live through it is the way that I'm hearing I learn more about myself. Interesting. And so for a number of you, I'm hearing it's really a matter of how you hold a relationship intimately with yourself as a creator. How do you, let's say, not involve yourself too deeply? I'm hearing in the space of criticism as well, where let's say you have an audience, are you like reading the comments and what's that feedback point? What does it mean to you specifically, Sagittarius, right? It's like what is it that pushes you through your work? Is it your vision? I'm hearing of what you, I'm hearing of what you really believe in, right? Or is it that point of sort of I'm hearing investigation, I'm hearing of your work? I'm not sure again what that's alluding to, but always take as you will, Sagittarius. I'm not seeing that for a number of you that this is really so much a matter of like what hearsay, like what do others have to say about my work. I'm seeing it more so in terms of like how you I'm hearing how you feel in the process of creating it, what it is that you do, like just the sheer knowing that, let's say, there is feedback there, okay? Like if you want it, it's like at the end of the day, what's my driving motive, right? And so for a number of you, I'm seeing that is your story, that you realize, Sagittarius, I'm hearing you form, okay? You form specifically. And to say it in the way that I'm hearing specifically for a number of you Sagittarius, that it's a matter of your focus. okay? Because again, let's say that you have an audience. I would not be surprised to know, Sagittarius, that you've got an audience. Okay, if you've got a lot of Sagittarius, especially in your chart, there's a lot. I'm hearing specifically, there's a lot I'm hearing to also to become of that, okay? And to say in the way that, you know, you may feel driven, compelled to share your work with an audience in some shape or form. Now, whatever it is, Sagittarius, there may be the you know, the sort of the question of how you I'm hearing how you package what it is that you do. Interesting. Okay, so it's like, yeah, you know, I know what I do. I feel, you know, comfortable in that space, but when it comes to, I'm hearing addressing it, then there may be some sort of question. And for a number of you, this might involve politics. Just gonna say it like that. Like, it might actually involve really, really controversial sort of. I'm hearing dividing lines. I don't know what that's alluding to, where it's like you have to very clearly like address something, and that might be the fact that you're not going to address something. You know, it's like there's something of that nature. Like, to say it in that way, Sag, like, but at the same time, what I'm getting is that, again, I'm hearing it's about your focus. And, you know, if let's say you have an audience, and let's say that you've even started a business and it is really growing, and you're questioning, kind of like, okay, well, you know, not questioning, but I mean, I'm seeing box office, like, the, you know, it's like, what's the point of the publicity? I'm hearing as well. You know, it's kind of like it brings it back to that sort of nucleus of, why is it that I started what I started? Why not just that I started what I started, but why is it that I do what I do? Why is it that I love what I love? And I'm hearing for a number of you, it has to do with something you've actually written down. It is something that you've written through. I'm not sure again what that might be alluding to, but it could be a piece of writing actually. But and you know, whatever it is that is created around the space that you create through. I'm hearing, Sagittarius, specifically, that you realize that you are the one who reveals your potential. You are the one who reveals, I'm hearing, your past as well. And it's a little bit of a tricky space, but not because it's tough, okay, to kind of like address, but because it, as you might feel it, arouses so much in you in terms of the question of why you do what you do, okay, in terms of how it is that you have actually grown to this point to want to discuss this. Okay, so in other words, for a number of you, there's perhaps some kind of very, very long cycle, very deep cycle of also seeking truth in your own experience, like of creating what it is that you are, where you're like, okay, now it's a matter of revealing. I'm hearing that way. I'm hearing releasing as well, of directly addressing what my representation is here. I'm hearing that specifically, and for a number of you, you know, you could just feel that you're kind of put under a little bit of pressure, like put on the spot to advertise. I'm hearing as well, like your character in some kind of way. And again, what that's kind of bringing up as a focus, Sagittarius, is what you feel. Period. What it is that you feel. I'm hearing also so deeply compelled to carry out. Love and light to you, Sag. Enjoy this period. I'm going to extend the reading here. You can access that via the link in the bed box below. We'll see what carries through to the tail end here of the 15th, 31st of August, and I'll see you there. Love and light to you. Bye, Sag.